Fourth generation computer, microprocessor, 1971 to present. This generation started from 1971, developed from microchip. It was large scale integration chip, but microprocessor was began with very large scale integration chip in 1979. The Intel 4004 chip developed in 1971 integrated all components of computer from the central processing unit and memory to the input-output controls on single chip. It was in 1971 created team of logic architecture and silicon engineer Federico Fabian Hoff, Stanley Maser, and Shima for Japanese calculator manufacturer Biscom. The centerpiece of the fourth chip was in 4004, initially described as the 4-bit micro-programmable CPU. A clear picture of microprocessor, a multipurpose, clock-driven, register-based digital integrated circuit that accept binary data as an input, process it according to the instruction stored its memory, and provide result also in binary form as output. Microprocessor contain both combinational logic and sequential digital logic and operate on number and symbol represent in the binary number system. Metal oxide silicon MOS integrated circuit technology allow the integration for more than 10,000 transistors in single chip. This paved the way of very large scale integrated in the 1970s and 1980s. The 10,000 of MOS transistor on a single chip. Microprocessor milestone development is structured VLS. Its design is a modular methodology organized by Kermit and Lennon Conway. Next pinpoint in 1980s, IBM introduced a first personal computer for the home user. And in 1940s, Apple introduced a Macintosh processor, also moved out of the realm of desktop computer and into the many areas of life as more and more everyday products began use the microprocessor chip. This generation of computer had the first supercomputers that could perform many calculations accurately. Also, they used networking and higher and more complicated language as their input like C, C++, C++, DBase. Let's we look at microprocessor development. Small scale integration chip SSI in 1950s. It lesser than 100 of transistor in a one chip. Medium scale integration MSI in 1960s between 100 and thousands ICs. Large scale integration 1917 between 1000 and 10,000 transistor in a chip. Very large scale VLSI chip in 1980s between 10,000 to 1 lakh transistor in a one chip. Ultra large scale integration ULSI in 19s between 1 lakh to 1 million transistor in a single chip. Super large scale integration SLSI in 2000 more than 1 million transistor in a single chip. Next pinpoint of microprocessor inventor we can identify in 2001. We saw the first multi-core processor released by IBM under their powerful architecture, and as expected it was geared toward workstation and server applications. In 2005, however, Intel released its first consumer-focused dual-core processor, which was multi-core design, and later the same year AMD released their version with Athlon X2 architecture. Let's we look at difference between third and fourth generation computer. Third generation computer developed in 1964 to 1971. Fourth generation computer were developed in 1971 to present. Third generation computer used IC, fourth generation computer used microprocessor. Third generation computer slower than fourth generation computer. Fourth generation computer faster computers. Third generation computer are expensive, but fourth generation computer cheaper. Third generation computer low storage space, but second generation computer advanced internal and external storage. Third generation computer generate heat and consumption of electricity was high, but fourth generation computer produce lesser heat and energy, lesser consumption of electricity. The speed of third generation computer was around 100 nanoseconds. The speed of fourth generation computer is measured in picoseconds. Third generation computer used integrated circuit and it was designed and developed by Jack Kilby in 1970, and fourth generation Intel released in 4004 microprocessor. Third generation computer lesser portability but fourth generation highly portability. Third generation computer called mini computers, fourth generation called microcomputer. They utilized integrated circuit and large scale integrations. Fourth generation used very large scale integration and microprocessor. Third generation computer main memory was increased in the form for PROM and DRAM. Fourth generation computer main memory was increased in the form for EPROM and SRAM. Fourth generation developing until now, but its generation also proposed artificial intelligence generation. It started end of 2010. Let's we look at fifth generation artificial intelligence.